just coffee went down the wrong pipe there. So just to recap here, we're going to take you back to the atom, and then a couple of hydrogen atoms there with an oxygen atom. We get water molecule. Bigger molecules here, we got macro. Okay, this is DNA included and large proteins. Organs are organelles of a particular cell. A collection of cells together constitutes a tissue. So you can have liver cells, heart cells, muscle cells. And then there's your organ itself. Heart, lungs, kidneys, skin. Now, all the organ systems together in their totality. Now you're talking their organ system, and allows for the proliferation of the organism. And here's just a recap of what we just did. You're more than welcome to have a look and write these down. Maintenance of life, requirements of the organism. Everything needs water. You gotta have fluid in you to move things around. Transporting of substances for sure. And regulation of body temperature. The majority of mammals there are warm-blooded. All of them are warm-blooded because muscles produce a majority of heat. You get lizards there, a lot of fish there that are cold-blooded, but they're still producing some type of heat. Okay, it's just one of the byproducts of utilizing ATP. Oxygen. 1/5 of air. The majority of creatures use oxygen. Some there at the bottom of the ocean utilize sulfur. And if you look on a periodic table, sulfur is directly underneath oxygen, has similar characteristics. Pressure, application of force on an object. Atmospheric pressure, important for breathing. Hydrostatic pressure, okay, the whole idea. How does a tree know to grow straight up? Right? Our lungs, we breathe in, breathe out. I'll tell you, the whole idea of sucking in orange juice through a straw, you actually think you're sucking in that orange juice? Well, you're not. Air pressure is pushing it in. We'll get there. And you got to eat food, because where does the energy come from? And by the way, good question. Why do we breathe oxygen as opposed to another gas? Interesting. We'll get there. Fundamental characteristics of life and traits shared by all organisms, okay? Movement, responsiveness, okay? Basically adaptability, okay? If the environment changes, can the creature respond? And if it can't, it dies, okay? Generally, all creatures grow in size to some point. Reproduction, respiration, digestion, absorption, circulation, assimilation, changing nutrients there to chemically different forms to suit the body for that particular environment. And excretion, okay? Integumentary system, the whole idea of the skin. It's the body's largest organ and first line of defense against infection. And you think about how important the skin is. It's not one of those organs that gets a big hullabaloo like the cardiovascular system and the heart. But you ever wonder, hospitals, why they have burn units? The whole idea, once that skin has been removed, that person is now a sitting duck for bacteria, which we are completely covered with at the moment. They're all around us. Skeletal system, okay, for blood, all the body's blood is made in the bones. Structurally, makes us sound, strong, protection there when you're talking the ribs. Bones are great. Muscle system, movement, heat. Heart is muscle. The whole idea of swallowing, that's muscle too, different kind of muscle. Nervous system, it's just one way there that the brain has the ability to talk to my big toe. Okay, we can use the nervous system. It's very fast, efficient, very short-lived. The other way that the brain can talk to my big toe is through the endocrine system. This is the use of hormones, okay? And all these different organ systems, the ovaries, the testes, the adrenal glands on top of the kidney, the thymus, hypothalamus, the pituitary, it's all involved. And we'll get there. Not this course, next course. Cardiovascular system, the movement of blood throughout the entirety of the body via the heart. It's a beauty. Is it a perfect system? No. But it is encapsulated and helped out there by the lymph system, which is coming up soon. Respiratory system, the whole idea of breathing in and out, and that oxygen goes into our blood and then goes to my big toe. Carbon dioxide leaves my big toe, goes back into the blood, comes around to the heart, and is expelled. It's a good one, works in tandem with the cardiovascular for sure. Digestive system, the idea of chewing food, swallowing it, and the body breaking it down and then absorbing it, filtering it by the liver, which then allows it there to be put into the bloodstream. All right, good one. Urinary, okay. This here, we're talking about the kidneys, and we're talking about solution chemistry. The whole idea of what the kidneys deal with is the dissolved solids. You know, when you mix sugar into water and you make a solution, well, that's what the kidneys are involved in, cleaning a solution, okay? Cleaning your blood. The kidneys, they are actually the big boss. If you look at the heart, all the rest of the different organs, who rules them all? It's the kidneys. If they don't get the blood pressure that they want, then they make a phone call upstairs to the heart. If they sense there that the blood levels are getting low, then they make a phone call to the bones, get making blood. The kidneys are the boss. We'll get there. Reproductive system, there's your male and female and all of the organs involved. Okay, that's a good section. And here's your immune and lymphatic, the whole idea there that wherever there's a cardiovascular vessel, being an artery or a vein, there will be a lymphatic vessel there to absorb any leftover waste. Okay. As well, going into this one here, the immune, here we're talking our T cells, our B cells, immune response. There's the first line of defense, second line of defense, and then you have the third line as well. So now you're getting into the immune response, allergies, getting vaccines. That's a great unit as well. So, anatomical position, here we go. A little bit of an introduction here. You'll notice there that the person is standing forward with the arms, palms stretched out. This is anatomical position. And you'll notice there that the left side of the individual is your right side. It's just one of those things there. Every time you define anatomical position, you have to invert it. Okay? So this person's right side here is on your left side. All right? So just be careful. Good. And here are some more questions for you. Okay? You can have a look at these here. And please stop the video, pause it, watch these there on your own. They're all good for you, just like vitamin C. Properties of living things here, macromolecules. Now you remember there we're moving from atoms to molecules to those macro. Here we're talking every living thing is made up of the basic elements, carbon, oxygen, hydrogen, and nitrogen. These basic chemical elements form molecules such as sugars, amino acids, fatty acids, nucleotides. Sugars that we digest, amino acids for proteins that we use to make eyelashes and nails, okay, and hair. Fatty acids, okay, the whole idea of making fats and saturated fats there we'll get into. Nucleotides, okay, here we're talking DNA, okay. Just a fat has got a bad name. You think there that, what do you think all your organs sit on? There's something there called your greater omentum. It's basically a big fat blanket that just sits on top of all your organs that keeps them all in there. So fat's got a bad rap. So, and it's a very important organic molecule. We'll cover it. Small molecules here combine into various macromolecules, polysaccharides, proteins, fats, and nucleic acids. So, cellular structure. All living things are composed of one or more cells. All cells have a membrane that separates the inside of the cell from the outside of the cell. Okay, and we're just water bags. That's all we are. Water on the inside, water on the outside of our cells. And the only thing that doesn't mix with water is fat, oil. So what do you think our cell membranes are made of? While we are all water, our cell membranes are all made of oil. So therefore now we can have cells in our body. Some organisms are single-celled, such as bacterium, yeast, or some algae. Some organisms are multicellular, such as zebra mussel, peach trees, and dogs. Growth and metabolism. All living things use energy for moving, thinking, growing. The ultimate source of energy of our planet is the sun. Metabolism. This is one of the words there you'll need to know. It's just one of those all-encompassing words there that just means all the chemical reactions in our body. Okay? So if you have a healthy metabolism, everything is running as it should be. Okay? Reproduction. All organisms reproduce in one way or some way, okay? Whether it's sexually or asexually. Some cells in our body divide every few days. Some organisms reproduce every 20 minutes. Bacteria, life cycle of a bacteria, 20 minutes. Some organisms reproduce every 6 weeks, mice, and some 20 to 30 years, human beings. There are different ways there that organisms can reproduce. There's binary fission when you're talking bacteria, sexual reproduction, intermixing of DNA. We'll get there. Heredity, the whole idea of passing genetic material on to the offspring. The DNA on all organisms must divide before the organism itself can divide. DNA contains genes that determine an organism's characteristics. Evolution. All populations of organisms continually change genetically from one generation to the next. So you see human beings in all their magnificence. Are we done evolving? Absolutely not. We are moving in that direction. Okay? So humans have 46 chromosomes, but the particular genes on those chromosomes can vary, such as genes that encode in skin pigmentation or body height, hair color, all these kinds of things. Homeostasis. This is another one of those words there that you need to write down. And we've talked about this there a little bit, the whole idea that when the outside is imperfect, the inside has to maintain perfection. Okay, and that's why we need to maintain a stable internal working environment inside of our bodies. And the whole idea, blood pH, blood sugar levels, body temperature, there's just so many different regulations that are going on here. The whole idea of blood calcium. When the blood calcium level goes up, there's no turn-off switch. So we use a hormone there to put that calcium onto the bones. And when the blood calcium level gets too low, we start robbing our own bones to get that calcium back. It's this kind of figure eight idea here, this homeostasis. Okay, we'll get there. Lots to go. So when factors in the external environment, the outside world change, conditions in the internal environment must remain stable. And if you just blow this up here, okay, you'll see what's going on, okay? And this is the whole idea of a thermostat, right? Where if it gets too cold, then the thermostat comes on, and you see it heats up, and then it, whoa, way too hot. Okay, so then we turn it off. Okay, and cools down, and then see it just keeps cooling, and then all of a sudden it clicks on again, and then warms itself up. So it always stays within this parameter. It's almost like a seesaw. Okay. The whole idea of homeostatic mechanism here, when the body senses a change in its environment, the receptors detect this, which therefore a message is sent, usually to places like the hypothalamus, where a set point is checked. Okay, so all of a sudden here it's getting a little cold in here, so then a message is sent to the body that it's 34 degrees, and the body checks its normal temperature. Wait a second, we should be at 37 degrees, so all of a sudden now we get the engines cooking and getting the body warmed up again. Okay, and that's where the effectors are. So the receptors receive the message is sent to the brain, the central nervous system, where a set point is checked and verified, and the effect is based on what the situation would be. Okay. Beautiful little slide here detailing exactly what we just went on about. There's your receptor, control point, and effectors there. There are two types of homeostatic control mechanisms. There's the negative feedback, which was this one right here. Negative feedback, the teeter-totter, the seesaw, back and forth. That's what we call a negative feedback, okay? And sorry, jumping around here. So your negative feedback where the output reduces the original effect. So the more that's produced will turn off the whole system, okay? The other one, which is a lot less rare or a lot more rare, this is called the positive feedback. And this is where, in this particular mechanism, the output is 100%, 200%, 500%, and then once the objective is met, and then this whole thing just fades away. Okay. So this homeostatic mechanism here, self-regulating control of the body. Okay, the body functions properly only when heat pressure and the concentration of water, nutrients, oxygen remain within a narrow specific range. Okay, and regulation of body temperature. Okay, regulation of blood pressure by pressure-sensitive receptors. That's what you're looking for there. And response to the cold environment. Again, it's negative feedback. And response there to the warm environmental temperatures there, that's what goes on. So in a cold environment there, certain muscles are caused to contract involuntarily. Shivering, you don't have any control. If you're truly shivering, your body will move you on its own to start creating heat. Okay. Just the whole idea, negative feedback, as we saw, stimulus receptor to the brain, and then the effector, that's the output. Okay, these are all great. I would have a write down of these. You have chemoreceptors. Okay, they detect chemical concentrations, neurotransmitter, drugs, hormones, osmoreceptors, osmolarity when you're talking water and ion concentration. Okay, tactile receptors detecting touch, baroreceptors, blood pressure, photoreceptors detecting light found in the retina, mechanoreceptors detecting stretching, okay, proprioceptors detecting body position, nociceptors, that's for pain, and thermoreceptors detecting temperature. Lots of receptors, you'll see them all again, okay. Here's some more negative feedbacks there. You guys can stop and pause and have a look at these and blow these up as you need be, okay. Blood pressure, an example of homeostasis. Again, just more of the same. All right. And you'll see there, I like to play with these things there. The whole idea of how it all comes around. Okay. When you're, and getting into this right now is kind of difficult because you're not familiar with the organ systems. Okay. But when we get into the kidney there next semester, you'll see there that they are involved when the kidneys need a particular pressure or they can't do their job of filtering the blood. All right. And this one here is talking about the level of calcium in the blood. Calcium is very important. Mama always said calcium there is good for your bones and your teeth. But it's also no nerve or muscle will fire without calcium. So we just don't throw this stuff out. It's highly regulated. Okay. This is a homeostatic negative feedback event here. Here you're talking insulin. Okay, the whole idea after you eat a piece of cake, your blood sugar spikes. All that sugar has got to go out. So the pancreas releases insulin, tells all the cells there to open up and take that sugar out of the blood. Good one. Here are some links there for your viewing pleasure. Okay. Positive feedback here, as I said, it's not like negative feedback where it's like a teeter-totter, seesaw, moving back and forth in a figure eight. This one here, like if baby's head is pressing on the cervix. Okay, man, there's no back and forth here. Baby's got to come out now. So all of a sudden, 100%, 200%, 400%, 1,000%, baby comes out. Uterine contractions stop. That is a great example of a positive feedback. Another one there, if you cut yourself, okay, the body goes 100, 200, 500% until the cut has been stabilized. Okay. There's another example. Okay, positive feedback. There's your blood clotting, childbirth, uterine contractions. It's all there for you. Here are some more questions. Okay, lifespan changes. Aging occurs from the microscopic level to the whole body level. Can you think of some examples? There are lots. The whole idea, osteoporosis. You know, when an elderly person falls and breaks a hip, it can be life-changing. There's lots going on. We'll get into these. And there's a nice little summary for you. Some more summary. You can pause the video. Now please read the sections and try the practice questions throughout. Thank you so much, and we'll see you there for week 2. Have a wonderful day. Talk to you later. Bye-bye.